You got to. We trying to go today. You want to go D1 to D3 or?
That's what I have. I have that on the page. I mean, if we get through, 1 and 2, and we don't get to 3, then I guess do it next time or whatever.
Yeah. It ain't no rush. We got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We got 2 weeks to go.
Yeah.
2 weeks to go. That D1 D2. So we just. So yeah. Yeah. Let's start off with D1.
All right.
Everyone is excited about. Okay, hold on. Let me go pull it up. I got my stuff right here too. Let me go ahead and pull it up. D1, baby. All right, let's go. Let's go D1, baby. All right, so we got our very first matchup. We got Folsom versus Downey.
Yeah, Downey Modesto.
Hey, I would love if Downey could pull off the biggest upset. You don't think Downey can pull up the biggest upset?
No.
In all of Northern California, man.
No.
You don't think they can pull off the biggest upset?
No. The reality, so when you watch Folsom, right, and kind of one of the things that we had to tell our kids, because we lost on Friday and they gave it to us pretty good. We kind of told our kids, hey, listen, the way you feel right now, this is how they felt 5 weeks ago when they went down to Southern California and got thundered by Vallejo. There's levels to this thing, right? And as adults, we get that, and I get that, and Paul Doherty gets that. Everybody in coaching understands that eventually you're going to see somebody that, well, maybe you're going to see somebody that can match you, or maybe they're even better. And then you're going to really find out what's what. And I look at this bracket, and
Downey has zero chance unless Mother Nature rains, Mother
Nature in the ground and they fall in. That's
if it was like a big thunderstorm, just hella wet and rainy, they'll have a chance to win that game versus Folsom. They ain't got no running back.
They're okay. The kids that they have are not horrendous. They're just the show is Ryder, man. The show is Ryder, and the show is the whiteouts, and that's. I
would love for Downey to pull an upset, but like I said, it's not going to happen. Like I said, I got that bet with Ryder, man. I can't afford. I need Folsom to win out, so I got that bet with Ryder, man, because he gonna hop on my stream. Him and JMO number 2, he gonna hop on my stream, so I need that. I'm rooting for Folsom. They, of course, they'll handle business with Downey. Downey, hey, listen though, I will say this though. Downey has some good players. They have a running back, Elias Haynes, and they have a pretty decent DN John. So they got some boys over there. The running back has 19 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And they have a sophomore linebacker, Mark Sanchez. He's a stud. So shout out to Downey. They like I said, Downey, they good program, good coaching staff, tremendous. But their ass is going home on next Friday, man. I'm sorry. That's sick.
Anybody that's in this bracket has that there's good coaching going on there. There's
good coaching,
and they're buying into their system, and in their respective league or area, they're doing a good job and they're successful. It's just like we said, there's levels to everything.
Levels. They gotta, they did. Hey, 7-3. I don't know if did they win their league.
I do not believe so.
Oh. Well, hey, look, they ain't get a bowl game. Look, they get to go and play and get some more film. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nothing too bad about it. But, they need to start getting ready for basketball season.
Right.
Yeah, start getting ready for basketball season. Okay, so we already know that's going to be a blowout.
So we're both going Folsom there.
Yeah, Folsom is going to win. Folsom is going to beat Downey. Let's talk about this one. Ooh, I like this one. Monterey Trail versus Intercom.
So this is a very hard one for me because TJ Ewing, the head coach at Monterey Trail, we have been friends since 15 years old back in San Mateo. We played on the high school all-star team together. We played at College of San Mateo together. And we talk every week. One of my best friends in the world. And they have done a fantastic job. They're 5 section title appearances. But then on the flip side, I worked at Intercom. I was the athletic director for a year, and I love everybody over there. And Justin's done a fantastic job. Monterey Trail won a squeaker in the first one because they played right at the beginning of the year, and it's going to be toughy.
To me, it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. Normally, the team beats you in the regular season, but when they see you in the postseason, it's a different outcome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of coaches going with the mindset, oh, we're going to do the same thing we did to them week one, and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, coaches get stubborn with that mindset. So, granted, them Intercom kids did get on my god darn show, Jake, and act very ignorant and very too cocky after beating Wood Creek. That it was really annoying.
You're talking about Intercom.
Yeah, Intercom. Them they got on there, and I said, look, y'all ain't won nothing for y'all to be talking any type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ain't won nothing, you know what I'm saying? And I showed them light, and I was like, hold on, slow your weight, pump your brakes now. Y'all haven't won anything. They was back, oh, well, you like Grant. Hold on, wait a minute now. Grant has won things, man. They be talking, oh, you like Grant? Why you like? Again, Grant has won things. Grant has done something that no one in Sacramento has done, and that is winning an Open. We haven't won a Sacramento ain't won an Open since 2008, Jake.
No, and there's a lot of damn good reasons for that.
There's a lot of good damn reasons.
But they're good. They were very good. They were that phenomenal team. I remember that team.
You remember that, bro? There was some man. They went down there and beat Long Beach, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were playing in D2. No, what division were they playing in that 08 team?
At that time, they were Division One. It was.
Oh, they was Division One. Okay, yeah, they was Division One, and they went into that Open. Yeah, and went and won that. So Intercom, like I said, man, I told her, I was trolling them. I said, what is the difference between Intercom and the Dallas Cowboys? They got solid. It's like, bro, yeah, look, y'all have these good seasons, but you don't finish because it's like, well, okay, if you beat Monterey Trail, or do you guys really think y'all gonna beat Folsom? And I would love for Intercom to beat Folsom. That would do me great justice. I'd get on Rider Lines, but I don't know if you saw him post me on Instagram, but I'd love for Intercom to beat Folsom. But I don't know. Monterey Trail. This is going to be the test of who got better.
Yeah, and I think, if there's any guy out there and staff that are not going to try to do things the same way twice, is TJ Ewing and Rick Arcuri, man. Those guys they're sitting around right now. They're not going to talk to anybody for 2 weeks. All they're going to do is just spend their time like trying to get this right. And so is Justin. It's going to be a great game. I would only take, if I have to pick, right? And a lot of these is like a have to pick. I'd pick Trail only because it's at their place.
Are you picking Trail?
I mean, by a hair.
I'm picking, even though they got on my show to disrespect me, I'm picking Intercom. And if they lose, I'm gonna talk some junk to them. They're gonna hear my mouth. I'm gonna pick Intercom to win it. Like I said, it's so hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah, but
I got them winning. I got them winning by a hair too. That's gonna be this. Like I said, you get a quarter, you flick it up. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody knows, and those guys are going to get mad because I worked over there, and they go, "How can you pick Monterey Trail?" Well, blood is thicker than water, and TJ is like that's one of my best best dudes in the world, man, and they do a great job over there. It's very difficult to defend that offense, and at home, like I said, both teams good. Anybody could win this game, but if I have to pick, right? Because at the end of the day, like we have to pick. That's our deal here. Then I'm going to go Trail by a hair.
Man, we gonna go Trail by a hair. I'll throw Intercom out there. I honestly don't care who wins this game, to keep it the truth, because either they still going home that next round regardless.
That is an undeniable fact, my friend. Because
so regardless who wins this game, they going home.
No, nobody in this bracket except Grant has the bodies to match up with those guys.
No.
And if we work our way through the bracket, and let's pretend for a second that And my bracket actually has Grant going all the way through.
Grant Edison?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We don't even need to go. Hey, but look though, Grant versus Edison. That is a good. I ain't gonna say good. It's a game, but there's some great players. They have a 5-star, McKenzie. Oh man, he's a hard hitter. I love the way he plays. He's one of my favorite DBs. They have a wide receiver commit over there at Edison as well too. But again, I don't see Edison beating Grant. They going home.
No, and they have a great history, man. I remember going to the section final, and God, it was maybe like early 2000s when Lavelle Hawkins was playing for Edison, and they played Grant, and Grant just gave them the thunder at Sac City. That was a really good Grant team. That Grant team had, phenomenal talent, and I see the same thing happening again. It's going to be Grant, and I would say Grant comfortably in that game. And then the other one on that side of the bracket is our friend and Central Catholic, which has historically been very good and very physical. They're a little bit down this year, just looking at the scores and some of that stuff. And because it's at Oak Ridge, I go Oak Ridge by, not a big score, but I'll go Oak Ridge at home over.
The only thing that scares me about with Oak Ridge is their offense. They don't have no offense.
Yeah, they're hurting right now.
They're hurting on offense. They're one of my favorite defenses, if not the favorite defense in Sacramento. Granted, their DBs, but that front, I think they're the best front seven in my opinion. Oak Ridge, I love their front seven. I watched them play. But that Central Catholic game could be an upset, but I'm going with Oak Ridge with CC. CC has a good wideout Chase stud, but the Oak Ridge, they scare me with that. They scare me with that offense because they beat up, man. They hurt.
Yeah, and I think it'll be enough in the first one. I think it'll be enough against Central Catholic. I don't think it's going to be enough against Grant. Even and if you look at the bracket, it would still be at Oak Ridge. I think maybe that helps keep the score down a little bit. Sometimes when you play at home, especially once you get kind of out of Placer County and up in the hills there, it gets, you sometimes get a little bit of favorable officiating. And so I could see that Grant Oak Ridge second round game could get a little tricky, but ultimately Grant's just too talented, too big, too strong. And remember, they have ratcheted this thing up from when we saw them early on and all the shenanigans on the field and stuff. I think Coach Carl has, not this Coach Carl, but older Coach Carl has, they've tightened everything up and kind of gotten it going in the right direction. And so that's going to spell bad news, I think, for Oak Ridge in the second round. I think Grant's going to push through.
Like I tell people, Blake is back.
Yeah.
He's 100%. 2 running backs is back. Last name Williams.
Yeah.
Dog. And then you got the 5-star, 3, 4, 5-star, whatever, wide receiver, tight end, whatever, Zoe Edwards.
Yeah.
Like I said, bro. I got Grant in Falcon in the sections. I'm sorry. I love Intercom. I love Monterey. Edison. I love Edison. Oak Ridge, big fan base. I love Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
But like I tell everybody, I need Ryder Line on my show. I tell people that all the time, bro. I need him on my show. I'm tired of him trolling me on them lives, boy. That boy Ryder Line is the son of a mother sucker, man. Jake, I tell you, bro. He's something else on that goddamn line. Oh, bro, I love the confidence, but that's one cocky mother sucker, man.
Yeah, and sometimes the great ones are like that, and I don't have any problem with that.
Especially when you walk the walk. He walked the walk.
Yeah, and anybody that does that, you what you're supposed to do anyway is you're supposed to shake hands, tip your hat, and move on, and and that's what you do. And I think at the end of the day, if we're like wrapping up the D1 bracket, it will be a much closer Folsom Grant game in the final.
Folsom versus Gant championship, Sacramento section state title is coming there, and I'm gonna be live in effect. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there with my camera and everything. It's showtime. I'm telling you how it's gonna go. Quarterback reject from Folsom. Blake Nykum comes in, upsets Folsom.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible.
It's definitely not impossible. Listen, Jake, that game is going to go to the wire.
Yeah, football is very psychological, and I think there's a lot of times I've seen teams that it gets away from them early.
I don't mean to cut you, Jake.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's take it back. What year was it when they played? It was Grant versus Folsom. It was a little while back. I think it was back in early 2000s. Grant beat the dog piss out of Folsom.
Yeah.
Then Folsom, then they played each other again in the playoffs. And Folsom beat the dog piss out of Grant in the playoffs. What year was I gotta go find that.
I'd have to look it up, like early 2000s. Like
that was early 2000s, man. And that was, oh my goodness. That is, man.
I know it was after 2006 because I know that 2006, like we were in the D1 final at Merced. We played Vacaville and we were that during that time period, like we were playing real well, and Folsom was just starting to kind of get the thing going. I think by 10, I want to say they were really starting to kind of do something under Richardson and those guys. So probably maybe right around then, maybe 2010, 2011.
Yep. I got it right here. Man, I love having you. So it was 2010, 2011. Grant whooped Folsom 49-14. Then they played them in the section playoffs, and they lost to them 20-41.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. And that was a big deal at the time. And that was really kind of the start of their empire that they've built, and let's call it what it is, man. It's an empire. They have, what they have. And look, I'll never hate on anybody, right? If my school district allowed us to, just kind of, open the doors and whoever wants to come in comes in, and I think lots of schools and coaches would do that. Just the reality is that most school districts in this area, even the ones that really like football and care about football, they're not going to go to the extent that those guys go to really kind of like make the school so accessible to athletes from all over the place. And like I said, I'm not hating on them, right? It's what they say, like the kids say, and younger guys, don't hate the player, hate the game. Mm-hmm. That's the game. The game is dudes. Everybody thinks it's about coaches. I coached for a long time, and guess what? If you have the dudes, it doesn't really matter how many great plays or defenses. You line them up and you let them go, and they go do their thing. It's an athlete-heavy formula. The athletes are at a premium, and they've got them in spades. They got a lot of them, but so does Grant. Grant has some dudes that can go out and match them. They just can't they can't let it get away from them early the way they did last time. If they do, it'll be the same result.
Yeah. I mean, because the game was close. I mean, in the beginning, the game was close. It's not like they just flat out beat them boys by 50. It was just the fact that them penalties, the undisciplined stuff, they was all up in their head. They didn't, because what impressed me was, one, first of all, I think that quarterback probably completed a total of 10 passes out of 40 attempts, bro. If I'm being honest with you, that was like the worst high school quarterback performance I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Then he turns around and throws 7 picks. Seven picks down there over at
Central. Was it in Fresno, or he did that, or was it?
He did that. What's that team out there in Santa Rosa?
Did they play?
What's them? Yeah, Cardinal Newman. He threw 7. Remind you, Cardinal Newman didn't score an offensive touchdown.
Wow.
He threw 7 interceptions.
A lot, man.
Pick 6, and that's how they won the game. They didn't throw a single. I hate to talk about somebody's children, but I just got to be real. They didn't throw a single. Cardinal Newman didn't score a single offensive touchdown. I don't even think they made it past the 50.
Wow, that's unheard of.
That is unheard of. For you to lose just off 2 picks off of 7 interceptions, everybody had a highlight.
Yeah, that's bananas.
So I was like, bro. So that just shows me that Cardinal Newman really couldn't hang with Grant. That just already showed me that. It's like, okay, they couldn't hang with Grant if they're doing 7 interceptions, and 2 of them were pick sixes.
I'll be interested to see how they do. I think, like I said, Carl and the staff have tightened everything up and kind of addressed some of their issues, and I think they are going to play real well in this bracket all the way through to the end. And I think you and I, like obviously I'm an older dude and I'm a little bit more subdued, but at the end of the day, like we look at this thing the same way. As we're going to come on here and pick these games based on, kind of empirical knowledge, like what we know. And what I know is that nobody in that bracket's touching Folsom. They're too talented. They run their stuff too well. Defensively, they're not bad at all. Everybody overlooks the defense. They got some dudes that can run around and do some stuff.
When I called them out on that trash ass defense, they tightened it up.
But
they haven't played against high offensive powers since Mission.
Yeah, that's true. And that
Grant been, like you said before, like I've been saying, that Grant wide receiver was wide open the whole goddamn game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, and I think that matchup in the slot they were giving it up pretty good. I think they'll defend it differently, right? Like those guys are also not idiots. They're going to look at and go, hey, you know what? If this, and this had happened, this would have been a close game. We got to make sure we tighten that up. So they'll probably do a better job of kind of defending the slot seam and slot fade and all that stuff.
Yeah, and all Ryder did really was do seams and bubbles. Game, seams and bubbles, and then rock them to sleep. Then, gotcha. Rock them to sleep again. Gotcha. So it's not like he did anything super duper crazy. And, shout out to Folsom, the offensive coordinator. Good game plan. Bubble. RPO, zip if it's there. Bubble. Oh, let's will it. Deep. Yeah. Oh, let's hit him with the seam. Got him. So they did a great job of rocking him to sleep. But my thing is this though. I ain't gonna say too much about it. The thing with Grant, with my question is, they have a 2 head coach set.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real.
You don't like that?
I don't like 2 head coach set because 2 head coaches confuses the people. It confuses the players.
Yeah,
and this is just my opinion. To me.
They're dynamic. Like I'm not there, and so I don't.
I don't know. I don't know either. But like I said, all this is just opinionated with having a 2 coach set.
Yeah,
it confuses the people, so it confuses the player. Not saying this goes on. Like I said, we're taking Grant out of this. I'm just speaking strictly on my opinion on having 2 head coaches.
Yeah.
Coaches, players get in, or even coaches, assistant coaches. Well, he likes this. Well, he likes that.
Yeah.
Well, how do we need to go about this? So it's like, and then the delivery is different. So one head coach may talk to a player a different way, and then the other head coach talks to another player a different way. So now they get confused. Now, you know what I'm saying? You need one leader, and that's the same thing in correlation when you have a 2 quarterback play. Like Sierra High School, they have a 2 quarterback play. Which one is your guy? Which one's not your guy?
Yeah,
I never heard of anybody winning a Super Bowl, a college football championship with having 2 head coaches and 2 quarterbacks, 2 starting quarterbacks rotating in. It confuses.
That's different. I think the situations that are good, like for example, like we have our head coach is Joe Catolico, is excellent, and he calls both. He calls the offense and the defense. And we have guys that, we have good staff and guys with, that have some experience. And so we'll jump in and help with things and give suggestions. And, we do a pretty good job of kind of staying on top of what the defense is doing and, kind of on the iPads and stuff, kind of letting them know what's going on. But at the end of the day, like, he makes the decisions on both sides of the ball. And that's worked for him for a long time. There's other places where, like when I was at Merced, I felt like we were super successful because Rob did a great job with the offense and continues to. And I ran the defense, and we had a really good defensive staff. And we won a lot of games. So, there's different ways to skin a cat. 2 head coaches I've never experienced before. I could see where there could be some problems with that.
Yeah, it ain't my style. Look, we already talked about the Grant versus Edison, man. We got Grant winning.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like I said, like to y'all people that's just joining, like I said, we got Grant winning. A lot of people asking about the Grant brother. We got Grant versus Folsom in the section. I mean, that's a matchup that I see. That's a matchup everybody would love to see. You see how they set the bracket up. They know what's up. CIF know what's up. That's why the bracket was set up like how it was, in my personal opinion.
Of course.
Yeah, because that's a money grab right there.
Yeah, they want to see 1 and 2 in the final. If they can make it work out like that, they want to see 1 and 2.
Yeah, they want to see them two in the fact because one, it's a money grab. It's going to be box office. It's going to, because Sac City is a big stadium. That's going to flood that whole thing. That's going to be a lot of people. A lot of people going to make money, bruh. You know how much money you going to make off that Grant versus Folsom game?
Oh,
championship.
Yeah.
ESPN might come back out for a part 2.
Yeah. It's a lot of hot dogs and soda, and a lot
of hot dogs and soda. So that's a money grab. Everybody want to see Grant versus Folsom again.
Yeah,
the content creators, everybody want to see that. That's box office. That'll probably be the biggest game in Sac area. Jake, you've been here longer. You've been in the Sac area longer than I have. That'll probably be the biggest game in Sac history, if I'm not mistaken, due to social media influences from now than back then. But yeah. That might be the biggest game, high school football game in Sacramento history because with the social media.
Yeah, it brings an element to things now. Like, when we were back in the early 2000s and even into the, kind of the mid 2000s, we had the internet, of course, right? But this now, like,
it's different.
These kids have a spotlight on them, and you've got guys at every game taking pictures, taking film, interviewing kids. And to be honest with you, I think it's great, man. I think the more we're fighting the NIL and the transfer portal, and so it's harder for high school kids to get opportunities now. And a lot of guys go to JUCO, which is great. But I think, I still do think high school kids, if they're good enough, should get an opportunity to go play Division I. And so I think the social media helps to promote that. I help with like what you're doing. Hopefully, get some of these kids out there in front of the right coaches, and it's going to be a great game. I don't want to pick anybody in the final. I don't know that we necessarily have to, but I know it'll be Folsom Grant.
That's a toss-up. That's just a game we want to watch, Jake.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can come out there too. You got to watch that. That's a game you got to watch in person.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a better game second time around because we have our full team, and I feel like ESPN took a toll on our mindset. Hell yeah, on the players and the coaches, boy. On the players and the coaches. Like, okay. Jake, let's go ahead. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this D2. I want to talk about.
All right.
Ooh, I don't want to talk about D2. They're my boys. Let me go. Let's talk about that. Then we gonna top it off with D3. Then we gonna done. Hold on. Let me pull up that D3 bracket here on my phone.
We're doing two or three.
We're gonna do 2.
Okay.
We're gonna end it off with 3. 3 is my favorite, so we're gonna end it off with 3.
All right.
So, Manteca versus Tracy. Who you got?
Nah, that's easy. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Again, right? I'll tell you that everybody that's in these brackets, especially with not just being the top 8, those guys do a heck of a job, man. It's like one of my first games head coaching was against those guys many years ago, and they've done a great job. They run the same system. They run that kind of academy style triple option, like Navy and Army and those schools run. Hard to defend, but at the end of the day, like these teams are in close proximity to each other. They play each other a lot, and Manteca is very good, man. They're big, they're physical, they're more balanced than people think. Everybody thinks it's like, run heavy and smash it, but they can complete balls down the field when they feel like it. Stingy defense, so
they got arguably the best DB and best cornerback in all of Northern California. That boy Harris, number 12, goes both ways. That's probably my favorite corner in all of Northern California. A lot of people may not like it, but that boy, nice size, long, he needs to have some Power 5 offers.
Yeah, he's a good player. And here's the reality of Manteca, right, is you got a dude playing at Florida State right now. So, when you have a guy playing at Florida State from your school.
Shout out Manteca. I saw it. Yeah. I said, no, I was saying shout out Manteca.
Yeah.
They was down with Oakdale, and they was down at least about 14 to Oakdale, and they figured it out, God damn it. They was like, well, we're going to stop this. We need to because that boy West, he's a son of a gun to tackle.
Yeah. So that one, I think, Manteca is kind of a no-brainer. The next one is really difficult. It's really difficult.
I'm going to St. Mary's.
The two Catholic schools, we played Jesuit. I'll put it to you like this. When Jesuit makes the decision that they're just going to line up and run the veer and not a bunch of window dressing and different like little concepts and stuff that they try to do, because I get it. Everybody's trying to like have some extra stuff and some things to do and so on. Hey, we'll line up in the spread a little bit, or hey, we'll try a couple of little, whatever. When Jesuit decided to line up and run the veer, they beat Rockland. They beat Oak Ridge.
Oh.
They beat, I think they lost real close to DO. They lost to us, but I think a lot of it was they were doing a lot of things kind of outside of the base system. That was a good looking football team. They had big dudes up front, really good, big, good looking running backs, tall quarterback. They have the tools. Now St. Mary's has played a, pretty tough schedule. They played De La Salle. If I have to pick, just because it's at St. Mary's and you got it going down to Stockton is never fun. I'll go St. Mary's in a close one.
Yeah, I'm going St. Mary's with that game.
Okay, yeah, so we're in agreement.
Yeah, I'm going with St. Mary's. Let's see. We got Del or Rockland. I'm going Del.
Oh man.
No.
No. I mean, again, like these are league mates of ours. We played both of these teams. Both coach really well. I coached at Rockland for a year first got here. And my daughter played softball at Del Oro on the NorCal championship team last year.
No, I'll take that back. Ooh-wee.
I think crazy game.
That's a toss-up.
It's at DO. I'm going to go just because it's a toss-up. So if I have a toss-up, usually if I see it's a one home versus the other, I usually go that way. So in a toss-up at Del Oro, I take Del Oro. Just because it's at their place.
I'm going Rockland.
Not an unreasonable pick, and that could easily.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going Rockland. I'm gonna go Rockland on that one. Yeah, I'm picking Rockland. Let's see who we got. Oh, Granite Bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. I'll give you the background, but I can't make a pick on this one. But I'll give you.
You don't need to give me the background because I'm gonna make the pick for you.
Our three losses are to really good teams. Our three losses are to Pittsburgh, Oak Ridge, and Folsom.
But y'all almost beat Pittsburgh, though.
Yeah, we're in the game, and we had a chance at the end to get the onside kick or whatever, and Oak Ridge, to be honest with you, was a 21-14 game where we, fumbled and threw a pick and did some other things that we quite easily, if things go a different way, that we could have won that game. So really the only time that we've gotten it handed to us this year where it wasn't a game was Folsom. Now that being said, Chavez is 10-0. They're undefeated. I'm doing the scout film right now. Their running back number 8 is a very good football player. They got some big kids up front. They run around. They beat a historically good Escalon. They've beaten some other teams down there in Stockton. And undefeated is undefeated, man. They're going to come to our place and they're going to show out, and it's going to be.
Yeah, but they I don't like their preseason.
I'll let you roll that one, and I'll jump back into the.
I'm going with Granite.
All right. So we got DO, Granite Bay in one semi, and Manteca and St. Mary's in the other semi.
Yeah.
What do you got for St. Mary's, Manteca? They played.
Yeah, but I'm going with Manteca all the way, baby.
Yeah, man. I gotta go. Yeah.
I gotta go with Manteca. I'm going with the Tika.
what do you go with in the other one? It's another one. I can't mess with any of these right now because I can't jinx us. But we beat.
Listen, I see Granite Bay and Manteca
in the final.
I see Granite Bay for the D2 section championship. I'm going Manteca in the final, and then I'm gonna stay out of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Just like
I'm gonna leave that too. I would leave that too alone, baby. I would leave that thing alone, baby.
Now
I'm gonna go Granite Bay versus Manteca in the section, and I'll see you at the section championship.
Good. That sounds good. Division 3.
Yep, let's finish up with Division 3, baby. Ooh, I've been ready for this one. This is my favorite. Ooh, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. Wood Creek versus Destiny Christian. Wood Creek, no question.
Yeah, a year ago, maybe not. Now Destiny had a lot of issues. So
they said the CIF is sitting Destiny Christian, DCA. They're sitting there for transfers, so they can't play. A couple of them hit me up on my social media, so they can't play.
That's happened in a few places, man. And so some people are better at doing that paperwork than others. I think. Certain schools need to give some instructionals on how to dot the I's and cross the T's because some people are getting into some trouble. But I'll go Creek also in that game. Who do you have?
Vacaville, baby.
Vacaville over Rio.
They turned it around, baby. Vacaville. Let me tell you something about Vacaville. Why they're going to upset a lot of people in that D3. Man, they started off giving up 60-something points.
Yeah. Yeah, to Atwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they tightened it up.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on one second. But yeah, Vacaville, but they're gonna upset some people, man. In that D3, they're sleepers. They turned that program around from the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
they're sleepers. They're a scary team, and they're in a comfortable situation in that bracket. Real comfortable situation in that bracket.
I coached in what I consider to be one of the greatest games ever in this section was the final against those guys in 2006. We lost on the last play of the game going for 2 at UOP. We drove the length of the field, made it like 35-36, and we could have kicked and gone to overtime, and we went for 2 and we didn't get it, and they stormed the field, and that was the end of that. But do
you regret that?
Say again.
Do you regret not kicking a field goal?
No, because they were humongous, right? And physically they were really good. And I think we did kind of just enough to stop them in spots, and they couldn't stop us, like our offense, not one time. We just kind of bogged down a little bit a couple times. We were throwing the ball all over the place. And so when we drove that ball down the field, I was telling the head coach, Rob Scheid, who's the head coach now, hey, listen, come up with your best play because my linebackers are beat up and I don't know what overtime is going to look like. Let's try to just win it and get the walk off. And he actually called, a play. I think if he had it to do over again, maybe like the direction that he called the play or, whatever, like you can always second guess yourself. And I'm sure we could go back and, but that was the saddest moment, man, because you're right there and then it's taken away from you. But
when I went out there to Vacaville, I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the fan base. I love Vacaville. Vacaville, I really do. And I'm rooting for them. I do want to see Wood Creek win because they have never won a section in history. And I would love to see that. I love Joey. But like I said, Vacaville is a scary team.
Are we going to bottom half of the bracket and come back to that one? Or are we going to pick?
Oh, yeah. You can come back to that one. My
okay.
bad. But yeah, man, them type of games hurt, man. Yeah, you're depressed for a cool 3 months.
3 months, dude. That was 2006, and I still wake up certain nights and
thinking about that.
It's terrible.
I hate that shit,
man. A lot of people don't realize down in Merced, I lived there for about 10 years and I have so many good friends and people down there, but it's rough, man. It's, there's a lot of crime. It's dangerous. And we had, several kids that were on our team at that time that within a few years of that game had passed. And so it's really hard to think about, like, that was the pinnacle of their young life for a lot of those dudes. And it was like, you're one play away and you don't get it. You feel responsible as a coach, right? You feel like, hey, what could I have done better?
Oh, yeah. Them type of games depress you, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, and you live with it for your whole life, man, because you wish different. But speaking of Merced, they have our buddies, the Vanden Vikings. So that's
I love Vanden. I have to go with Merced. I love Vanden, but their quarterback situation. I don't like their quarterback situation.
I agree. One of the things that's quite difficult, especially now that they have the stadium on campus, because it wasn't always that way. Merced is not happy about losing in the section final of those guys a few years ago. I think that's in the back of their heads, and I really think they want a shot to advance, and get another shot at Oakdale, which has been a thorn in their side for the last 5 or 6 years. They keep losing to those dudes in the semis and the quarters and stuff like that, and so I think they definitely want a shot at.
Yeah, they want to see Oakdale again.
Oakdale, and you got to go to the. And that's the great difficulty with Oakdale is not only they're good, but playing there, as you saw, is not easy.
Because there was beating a very good Manteca, but the play calling was the only thing. Look, the only thing that's stopping Oakdale from winning section is the play calling. But when you run that wing T, and you have the kids that love to tackle and have the eye discipline for the wing T, and you don't have a backbone, you got a problem.
Yeah.
That's the thing about that wing T. It's great till it ain't great no more.
Yeah, there's only X number of guys. I ran it. There was a time that I ran it because at one of my stops, and we ended up going to a section final, but we had no quarterback. We had no quarterback. Yeah, we ran it at Carlmont in the Bay Area, and we ended up going to the finals running it.
It works.
It works.
Until you get that team.
Until you get pressed and you can't, they can lock you up in the box, and if you can't throw effectively. Now, there's dudes that run it that they know all the wrinkles and they can pass out of it and all that stuff. And they can do well with it. But you're right. When everything tightens up and if you can't throw, you got a problem. So
I think Shutter runs their wing T, right?
A version of it. It's more like a pod. Like we're gonna get like super cultish in a minute here, but it's basically like they run what's called the power wing T.
They run that mother sucker to the T, boy. They pass. I love how they. If you want to run a wing T, you got to run it like Shutter because they sprint to the line, and then they pass so efficient out of it.
Yeah, they do a good job. I was shocked that they got upset by Casa. I was shocked that they got upset by Casa. Don't get me wrong, Casa is doing a good job.
Yeah, I love Casa. Shout out to Casa. But back to the Oakmont. But like I said, Jake, they have to make better play calls because when I watched them play Manteca, they just didn't make the right. Like you're up 14 on these dudes. Yeah, drain the clock.
They'll get the first one for sure because I'm looking at it and it's Ponderosa and he's done a great job. Like they were really not good a couple years ago, and so they've definitely tightened it up, but they are not going to do well in this game against Oakdale at the Corral. So I'm definitely going
at the Corral, baby. They keep calling me telling me to come back out there.
Yeah, and it's a great place. My cousin lives out there. Businesses, it's a great place, man.
That drive, boy.
Yeah, no, I'm good here in Roseville, man. I like my pool, like my backyard. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm straight too. That drive. Bro. I love the people. Like I said, one of the greatest people that you can ever meet. I love Oakdale. Shout out to Oakdale. I love it. Great atmosphere. I love it. But boy, I can't make that drive again. No, can y'all make it a section so I can come see you? Make it a sections. But
Are
The
you
play call, man, they gotta call some better plays and better situations. Like one time they went for it, and I ain't agree with it. I was like, I'll go for that. Then they did the fake punt. I don't know if it was a fake punt or West just decided to take matters in his own hands.
No,
My boy West.
they're very good, and they had a dude that was there forever named Trent Merzon, who was the head coach and won a bunch of section titles and was really good. And the guy that's there now, his disciple, guy that coached under him, and they're doing a fantastic job. So I guess we'll come back to that one. But the Creek Vacaville, you're going Vacaville or Creek? I'm going to have to go. If it's Wood Creek at home, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to go Creek. And I got my guy on the team there now, and he's starting to.
I'm going to say this. I ain't going to pick that one. But like I said, like I told you, I want to see Wood Creek win because they've never won it. And this is their best chance of winning it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go Creek into the final. And dude, I still have a lot of orange and black stuff in my closet. Some of the greatest times in my life was coaching at Merced High School, and there's so many like great games that we won.
Merced versus Creek.
No, yeah, and I look at and from the heart, man. I love so many of the people down there, and Rob Scheidt and I, like, we're maybe not the best friends lately, but the dude is a fantastic coach and has really kind of kept that program going for many, many years. I just don't think they can go to the Corral and beat Oakdale. They've tried, they've done it, and they've tried, and the way they go about defending it.
I ain't gonna lie, I might go back to Oakdale just for that game. If Merced makes it to Oakdale, I might drive back to Oakdale.
Yeah, we're not playing that night.
You drive back. You drive up there.
I might go down there. I might go down there just to see, because then I would have my kid that's playing for Creek right now playing in the final, and then I'll go see all my Merced people. And
I might drive back to Oakdale just for that. I had to get a hotel or something, but yeah, Oakdale and Merced. I like it. You can't keep going Vacaville though. Don't be surprised if Vacaville makes some people mad, man.
No, I could see it happening. Trying to be kind of practical based on what I've seen so far. And Creek is, they're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. Coach Stowers, if somebody's going to be up for Coach of the Year in the section, it's got to be Coach Stowers, because, and there's a flip side to that. Brad left him a very full cupboard, and those kids knew how to play football. But I think the way that he transitioned them to the spread from the triple option, kind of seamlessly like that, I think he deserves a lot of credit for doing that, and the success they've had. That being said, Creek Oakdale final.
You can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do with that, man. I don't. At Sac City, at a neutral site.
That's not really neutral, but yeah.
It's in Sac, so it's definitely more Creek than
Oakdale.
Yeah, they're those dudes are used to coming up and playing in those big games. If I have to pick that game at Sac City, if it's dry, Wood Creek, because that kid can throw and they got so many weapons. And if it's questionable weather, if it's muddy or wet, then I would have to go Oakdale.
They got turf.
Yeah, but even on turf, if it's really dumping, it's hard to snap that ball. We lived that last year. It's not great.
I'm telling you, I ain't going to no second championship if it's done. I'm gonna watch it on TV.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I ain't going out there, but I would love to be there for the atmosphere.
Well, good, man. That's 3 divisions. We did a pretty good job right there.
Yeah, we do. We gonna run it back. We're gonna finish up the other 2. But yeah, man, that D3 is tricky.
Very hard time with
D1 and D2, pretty obvious. But that D3, that thing is tricky. It's tricky.
Very tough division.
That's a tough division. D3 is very tough, man. People sleep on that D3.
Yeah. And a lot of people I will say this, and there's a lot of issues with the section, a lot of issues. But I will say, and they did it late and they pissed some people off. but the way that they did the playoffs by going top 8, it's a lot. This is what the playoffs are supposed to look like. There's nobody bad.
Ain't nobody supposed to be bad in the play. Oh, it's easy run. No.
Oh, everybody in here can play. Everybody in here can coach. Everybody in here is ready to battle.
Everybody got a chance to win.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Except for Downey, but
yeah, that's a tough one. And but after that, and by the way, when you look at that semi, and if Monterey Trail is able to beat Inderkum and they continue to kind of like start stacking up wins and success, TJ has beaten Folsom in the recent past. When they played, it was only like 4 or 5 years ago. They played in the final against Oak Ridge and lost close to the kid that ended up going playing quarterback at Syracuse or whatever. But in the previous round, they beat Folsom. So
I don't need nobody to beat Folsom but Grant. I love everybody. I love it, but I need this bet. I need that content with Right Line on here.
You might get. Yeah, I think you might get it, man. That's what I have for the D1 final.
It's a chance. It's a chance I might get it, and I need Grant to win so I can get him on here. So it's a chance. So we gonna see. That's gonna be exciting. D1 ain't gonna be super exciting until the end.
Right, correct. The other one.
Yeah. I mean, I like Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is going to definitely make a mark. But like I said, that offense, what are you going to do when your defense has to be out there the whole entire time? And you can't move the ball because Grant has a good front seven. You know what I'm saying? Your wide receivers ain't really, snap, we want to get hella open. No. And you're going to try to run the ball and chew the clock. That's going to get worn out because they're going to send pressure. They're going to send heat. The quarterback, Oak Ridge quarterback is cool, but he ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Unless
I hear you.
The defense is going to be out there, man. With them having all those injuries on that offense, there's no offensive spark.
Well, I'll leave you with this. If you give Casey Taylor 2 weeks to tighten things up and maybe move some guys from JV, maybe move some guys around, figure some things out, that dude's a very good football coach. So I think
but what do you do when you go against a team
that's better possess the ball, right? Listen,
they have Folsom by the nuts, Jake.
Yeah, I know.
But you can only do so much when your offense can't give you anything. Yeah,
and I think I don't think Grant is quite Folsom. Maybe they will be at the end. They're not quite. And I think the other reality is somebody told me this like a long time ago. They said the better your athletes are, the further away from the ball you want to have them, and that's why the spreads and the 10 personnels and all that stuff work for those teams. That if you have lesser athletes and you want to have a chance to win, then you have to have all of your personnel groupings clustered and close together and try to possess the ball. And I think Casey Taylor and those guys will do a good job of 2 tight ends and motions and formations and different things like that. And they'll give themselves a fighting chance. I'm not saying they're going to win that game.
That's what I said. They'll make a mark.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be exciting, man. So
thank you, Jake. I appreciate you messing with me again. We'll talk about the other one soon. So I'm going to rock with you.
Sounds good. Take care. Thanks for having me on again.
Doses, man.
All right, buddy. Take care. We'll see you.